Hello and welcome back. I hope you're all doing really well. I thank you again for the love and support on the most recent video. Seriously appreciate it. If you're new around here and you haven't actually seen that previous video, be sure to check it out as it covers a hell of a lot of information surrounding the Hedera ecosystem and where HBAR will be going in the future, as well as another token or project, the interoperability chain, Quant. Anyway, let's jump into this, as again, there is a lot of news to be covering from across the crypto space, and of course, diving a little deeper into the Hedera ecosystem. In terms of the crypto bubbles then, we have seen a little bit of a resurgence towards the upside, we should say. I think a lot of this is anticipation at the moment of that Ethereum merge, which I will cover in a second. However, some of these altcoins have done a couple of percent over the last few days. We can see Quant here up 4.5%. We're back above $100. In fact, we're at $110. As I said, I was buying Quant below $100 range. At the moment, I will sort of put my foot on the brakes a little bit when it comes to Quant, and I'll wait until I come back into my sort of buying zone before I average back into that further. We'll continue building that position. HBAR as well, wherever it is on screen, is around 6.5 cents from when I last checked. Obviously, I've been buying a ton of HBAR as well. Yeah, just under 6.5 cents. It looks like we're moving back towards that 7-cent range. This, for me, anything sort of sub 10 cents is a great buying opportunity, particularly when we look at the previous cycle all-time high, where we were seeing prices of 30, 40, 50 cents towards that all-time high. You've got upwards here of a 20x to even go back to that all-time high, let alone the potential it has to go in the future. And that's why, for me, the opportunity cost on projects like HBAR and Quant is absolutely unparalleled to majority of the other projects within the space. They have the potential to do 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50x into the future, particularly as the entire crypto space continues to grow. We hit that all-time high again of 2.5 trillion across crypto. That will bring everything back towards its all-time highs, and then we'll see more equity flow into these markets over time, where we'll start seeing global crypto market caps of 3, 4, 5, 6 trillion as we go out into the future and into the next bull run, which could be sometime next year, the year after, or even the following year in 2025. Who knows? No one has a crystal ball, and that is why I average into these different positions. As I alluded to then, so over 500 million new investors are projected to buy crypto by 2030, which was a HSBC report recently being revealed. You work that out, sort of 500 million, global population, 7.7 billion. What's that? 5, 6, 7%, somewhere around there. Additional crypto sort of users or investors out by 2030. I think this is actually on the lower side of what we may see, particularly when you're forecasting out over the next 8 to 10 year period. I think we'll see, potentially 1 billion new investors in the space as projects continue to grow, use cases get adopted, and the crypto technology begins to actually drive real world change and integrates into some of those real world systems that we have today. As I mentioned, majority of the markets at the moment appear to be moving due to what's happening, obviously, with Ethereum. I did do that recent video. I say recent, it was a couple of weeks back now, talking about 5 or 6 different ways you could actually benefit from the Ethereum merge, as there was a ton of different arbitrage opportunities, and some of those are now beginning to play out as we see the Ethereum price move forward. However, again, the crypto space is nothing new. This reflects what happens traditionally in equities, which is buy the rumor, sell the news. So obviously a lot of people at the moment are sort of buying up Ethereum in anticipation of what's going to be happening in the middle of September in the next sort of 3 to 4 days. We can see now on screen, this is the Ethereum real-time merge tracker, and the expected merge date is now September the 15th at 6:10 a.m. British summertime, or roughly 3 days and 10 hours from me shooting this video. So we are getting very, very close to this Ethereum merge date. And at the moment, the favorite thing for a lot of these whales to be doing is actually borrowing ahead of Ethereum's merge. Now, I don't think this is actually one of the arbitrage opportunities that I necessarily spoke about, but it is indirectly the same as either buying or borrowing these Ethereum tokens. So they're limiting ETH borrowing ahead of the Ethereum merge. A majority of this is due to the anticipation of a hard fork happening for Ethereum, where existing token holders of Ethereum will basically be airdropped the hard fork tokens. So if you borrow an absolute ton of Ethereum, or you own a ton of Ethereum and a hard fork occurs, you will effectively get airdropped those new tokens on that new chain, effectively almost doubling up the position that you currently had. So we can see Ethereum is trading at its highest price relative to Bitcoin this year, and also sucking the oxygen from other layer 1 blockchains at the moment, or other altcoins. At least part of the reason, analysts said, are the many proposed tokens to be airdropped to Ethereum holders after the transition is completed, a free subsidy that people can either choose to hold or sell. Several decentralized exchange protocols are now setting limits around ETH lending as speculators load up on the asset in anticipation of a potential windfall. Compound users, for example, today passed a vote to set a borrow cap of 100,000 Ethereum tokens and increased interest rates for large borrowers. The upcoming merge has the potential to cause disruption to ETH lending markets due to the possibility of receiving airdrops of ETH fork tokens. This may incentivize excessive borrowing from ETH lending pools, which leads to negative user experiences for depositors who can no longer withdraw their funds. This comes a week after Aave, another blue chip DeFi lender, voted to temporarily ban Ethereum lending after users predicted the merge could cause a surge in demand that would severely interfere with the protocol's programmatic trading protections. The risks for both protocols, Compound and Aave, and perhaps other DeFi lenders, are similar. Airdrop speculators could suction up ETH deposits, thereby creating liquidity constraints for other users. Indeed, the DeFi protocols are seeing users swap out ETH derivatives like Lido's staked ETH, ST-ETH, which won't receive airdrops and is now trading at a significant discount for ETH, which will. Now, of course, as well, this also points towards potentially, if these forks do go ahead, a majority of these tokens are being sort of borrowed in order for this arbitrage sort of play to kind of continue or happen, we may see significant drops in the prices of the fork chains token value as this does go live. As soon as the fork happens, they receive their airdrop tokens. Most of the time, they're going to be going ahead and liquidating a hell of a large portion, if not all of that portion, that they have received from this arbitrage play. So what we could be seeing is some extreme volatility across the Ethereum chains. The actual Ethereum chain, which is obviously going under the transition from proof of work to proof of stake, but also any of the fork chains that come as a result of this transition period. We could see some severe volatility in those tokens. So make sure you effectively bear that in mind if you are aiming to make a play around this merge taking place in the next 3 days or so. Anyway, jumping across to Coinbase, then we can actually see now that Near Protocol has been listed on Coinbase. We can see on this right hand side here, trade Near Protocol today, and you can buy Near Protocol by creating a Coinbase account, and then you can buy and sell that. The reason I'm covering this is because, of course, many of you would have seen that video previously from me where we looked at the announcement or the addition of HBAR to the roadmap for Coinbase, and listed just above HBAR being added to that roadmap was Near. They've now facilitated adding Near to their platform. So one would believe that HBAR would be the next token they are looking to integrate, as that was the next thing on their agenda or their roadmap for integration. If we flick across to Coinbase, we can see at the moment just says keep an eye on Hedera over here on the right hand side. Obviously get instant alerts. It doesn't say you're able to buy the token yet. Now, of course, many people have said this is the wrong time for a listing. I say it doesn't matter, potato in that respect. What it does mean is that HBAR is then ready for new retail investors or customers in the next future bull run that we will see. And this is great for that sort of adoption piece and the ease of access to the Hedera tokens. Of course, the more people that have ease of access and a frictionless service to be able to buy these tokens, whether or not you like Coinbase, it is still one of the biggest exchanges there currently is. That will help drive the HBAR price going forward if we do see, or when we do see, I should say, the next bull run, particularly as Hedera is growing in popularity at the moment. And I've seen many people that are entering the space aren't as savvy as traditional users in using decentralized exchanges, etc. Therefore, they will stick to these centralized exchanges. And of course, Coinbase is a really easy account to set up, and you pay the fees in order to get that sort of user interface experience, which is a bit cleaner than, say, something like Binance, which can be very overwhelming for people that are just dabbling with crypto on the sides. So regardless, really bullish news for Hedera itself. Not only that, Coinbase will obviously have to hold some of these tokens in order to facilitate some of the trades themselves. So obviously they'll be buying up some HBAR tokens and Near tokens, for example. Whenever these tokens get listed, they will be holding a portion, which obviously as well is a nice bit of volume for the tokens themselves. Jumping across then to the Hedera ecosystem, we can see Saucerswap is now open sourced. This is absolutely sort of mental news, phenomenal for the Hedera ecosystem. Now is the time to build even more value on Hedera, and we can see there 2 different GitHub repositories. Additionally, 𝗟𝗜𝗡𝗦 will be hosting a bug bounty platform for their contracts and web app going forward. This open sourced code now for Saucerswap will seriously help drive the ecosystem forward. Of course, the Saucerswap team have been working tirelessly for months and months to get those smart contracts robust enough to fully release that pioneering DEX. And this means now new devs coming across to Hedera have more repositories at their fingertips to be able to sort of chop and change between and sort of clamble together in order to build out their own decentralized applications or even DEXs in the future going forward at a much faster pace, because most of that legwork has been done by the Saucerswap team and in a very robust and secure manner, which then again enables these DApps to have an expedited timeline when building their own platforms. Really, really good news, something that again cannot be understated. And of course as well, we can see the single-sided staking passing unit test as well, Source and Saucer. I think I covered this previously, but again, it's still really important to look at. And we can see they're effectively going through the different contract tests like they did before, ensuring security. What this does mean is that single-sided staking, like how you would just stake HBAR, for example, will be coming for the Source token, and you'll be able to stake your Source tokens in a single pool and receive additional Source in return over a period like you would with any other staking platform. And again, this brings even more utility to those Source tokens. Now, we don't have any announcements as well still yet to do with the NFTs, but I would believe it could potentially be something like how Dovu staking mechanisms works, where they have additional multipliers. And it would be really nice to see if maybe the NFTs gave you some kind of staking reward multiplier, and that would drive a hell of a lot of demand for those NFTs, and particularly the early adopters who have held onto their bags looking to continue to support this platform in order to get an additional yield from holding those NFTs. That's complete speculation on my behalf, but it wouldn't surprise me if that is something they'd looked about. Wanted to cover this tweet as well from 𝗟𝗜𝗡𝗦 regarding something called Bird Token HTS. As I said, there are many different projects entering the space currently, and you have to keep an eye out. And this is going to be a fantastic tool in able to check projects before diving in and sort of explore the tokenomics in a very easy way, similar to how other chains have things like BSC scans, Transaction Explorer. There are many different DApps that have then built off top of those transaction histories in order to provide detailed statistics about the tokenomics and top accounts, which helps you understand whether the token is likely to be a rug pull. I will actually preview this tool in an upcoming video when it does actually release, but we'll go through what it's going to do for a second here. So Bird Token HTS has built a HTS Token Explorer. This much needed tool will provide Hedera community with a better way to evaluate new tokens. Here's a demo video of its use. Website will go live on Monday, the 12th of September. So what we can see here though is token detective. You can pop in the token ID at the top here. So he's going to punch in some token ID and then hit submit. I'll let him run through this. If you hit submit, it then comes up. So he's looked up the Bird token, immediately tells you the token ID obviously you've punched in, the name and the symbol of those tokens, decimal places if defines a different information for the token itself on Hedera, the current price, the price in HBAR, number of tokens per HBAR, for example, the initial supply, the total supply. So really good ways to check what's been minted and what will be happening in the future. The current circulating supply as well is obviously very important. See how much of that token is actually circulating. Liquidity, if it's in any of these pools, I'm guessing this is querying a Saucerswap, FDV and market cap. And the tokens in the dev wallet, of course, is really, really important. But the next section here, the top 5 token holders and the largest token holders is obviously very important to look at as well, to see where those tokens are currently sitting. If, for example, 75% of all the tokens are sat within 1 or 2 wallets, that normally is a red flag that the project could potentially be a rug pull in the future, because it's a secondary dev wallet or a personal wallet that they're going to use in order to sort of sell all those tokens immediately to drain liquidity pools, etc. Again, this is something that's available on other more fully fledged DeFi ecosystems like Binance and Ethereum, and it's great to see that someone is developing this for Hedera and will help push things forward even further. Jumping across again then to ZUSE, 50 million HBAR has been transacted via ZUSE marketplace. Now it's safe to say that HBAR NFTs are taking over. There are several sort of mints coming up in the future, and I will be covering an announcement for one of those shortly in the video. And of course, the volume on Hedera at the moment for these types of NFTs is going absolutely crazy, as we're seeing more and more retail take up to the chain, mainly because of those incredibly low and fixed fees that we enjoy so much. Huge milestone for us, and we could have not done it without the support of our amazing community. Thank you to everyone that has helped us grow and become the leading NFT platform in the space. Of course, big thank you to the HBAR Foundation. Since the inception of ZUSE Market, our only goal has been to elevate the NFTs on the Hedera ecosystem and help grow it. Seeing the hugely increased interest in HBAR NFTs has been truly incredible. And then they go on to say thank you again. And of course, they've got more in their roadmap for the future. Looking across then, new sort of article written up by CITADEL, or a thread quickly, talking about staking and where it will be going in the future. Of course, I like to keep you guys up to date with what's happening, but the CITADEL Saturday School Protocol Staking Deep Dive. So we talked about this before in a completely dedicated video. I urge you guys to check that out, as that was written by Hedera themselves and talking about the 4 different phases of native staking's rollout on the Hedera network. But a quick recap being phase 1, you have the technical availability. That has been complete. Phase 2 was the ecosystem development. So here, the supported protocols like CITADEL, exchanges and wallets will be integrated with the native staking functionality. This provides account holders an easy way to stake their HBARs. Also, web applications for delegating stakes will be built for utilization by the retail ecosystem. So that is currently still underway. Phase 3 is the staking rewards program launch. The Hedera Governing Council will determine when. The Hedera ecosystem would reach a minimum viable set of integrations to enable staking rewards, and then the council will vote to update the reward rate. The mainnet will be updated with the agreed upon reward rate, and then earned rewards will be transferred to eligible accounts staked to a node through any one of many transactions. And again, I show you in that video how to make sure your wallet is set up to use native staking when it does go live. We see here the council has decided to keep the 6.5% as the max annual reward rate. So that is a complete cap on how much we'll be earning. And the actual reward rate will depend on the amount of HBAR staked, but it shouldn't or couldn't exceed that cap. Phase 4 then will be complete staking implementation, and we will see things go live, and you'll begin earning rewards in your wallets going forward without having to do anything whatsoever. And of course, that will enable compounding automatically per epoch, which is great to see. Talking about those NFTs then, what was I going on about? And that is the Legion of Boo is growing again. So Dead Pixels, of course, have been an avid supporter of the project since day 0. Absolutely amazing team with some great core fundamentals and future roadmaps. And obviously many of you are familiar with this project and excited as well. But Drop 3, the public mint, will be September the 19th at 7 p.m. Eastern US or 11 p.m. UTC. Make sure you're marking those calendars. 800 ghosts during this drop, and they have doubled the cost per NFT to 800 HBAR. It was 400 HBAR before. And of course, they outline those reasons previously, and I covered those in a video, but to recap again, the reason they increased the number of HBAR is for a few different ones. In terms of feasibility for everyone being able to receive an NFT. Unfortunately, at 400 HBAR, a lot of whales could buy up a ton of different NFTs, and obviously it incentivizes things like bots. You make that slightly more expensive, the less likely it is people are going to be able to mint multiple or even several different NFTs. Not only that as well, of course, the team wants to put more and more time into this, and via these different mints, they're obviously raising capital for the dev team themselves. They all work jobs as well, as many of us in this ecosystem at the moment, and obviously them being able to earn a little bit more from releasing these mints themselves potentially will enable them to go full time into the Hedera ecosystem, particularly with their NFTs. We can see the current floor price at 13,333 HBAR. So a massive differential as well between the mint price and the floor price currently. They're giving away several different ghost passes up to the celebration. The drop date and time will be available in the Discord server at the local time zone. And of course, hopefully this will be a much smoother mint. The HBAR Shadies mint was today via 𝗟𝗏𝗡𝗦. Patches has been putting through several different hot fixes, and so has Hashpack, in order to ensure that minting experiences going forward are much more stable. Unfortunately, I missed out on Drop 2 as my Hashpack just kept crashing. Hopefully Drop 3, I'll be able to get hold of some. Of course, there are no whitelists for these mints whatsoever. Great news nonetheless. Jumping across to something different then, Web 23 product demo. So of course, this is looking at what is happening with .hbar domains, and we can see here they are getting very close now to launch. They're getting more and more announcements, or more and more announcements are being released. You see here, watch how easy it is to mint smart domains using the Hashpack app wallet. The launch of .hbar is getting close, and we can't wait to share some upcoming announcements. And you can get notified by going to their website and signing up, web23.io. Just going to mute this here, but if we flick through, the interface is really easy. You connect your wallet to begin with, which we can see here. Traditional pop-up via Hashpack, really seamless. You can then see, you can search for your smart domain that you'd like to own. So they're looking for u.hbar. These fees aren't confirmed yet, I don't believe, but you can see here 20 HBAR, 1.24 USD, or it's just gone up to 57 HBAR here. Click literally a couple of times, sign the transaction, execute the smart contract inside your wallet. And then I believe it then gives you, yeah, there you go. So you can now see you own an NFT. And this is what I was talking about by tokenization of assets. So your owned HBAR domains will be represented via NFTs inside your wallets, which prove that you own them. You can select your Web2 assets here and then sort of set up redirects. So they have redirected back to their Twitter account via the interface. And of course, this is all being governed via NFTs for ownership. Which is something I've been banging on about for a long time, but it's great to see them releasing announcements, and I'll be keeping you up to date on that. I just wanted to quickly show you this stat which came out from 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗥𝗥𝗔𝗟𝗦 earlier yesterday. The total number of Ethereum name service registrations, or ENS, has surpassed 2.3 million. The name services are a huge thing, particularly as Web 3.0 and things like gaming and sort of the metaverse get bigger. And it's great to see Web23 pushing the boat out and developing this on Hedera. And we will have those HBAR domains very soon. Right, quickly wrapping up the video then before it gets any longer, there has been another thread published by CITADEL and ways to use their CITADEL hardware wallet. So CITADEL is of course being built to become the single go-to device for users, developers and projects for protecting their Hedera keys and signing any transactions, whether paired with a soft wallet or directly with a dApp using CITADEL's SDK. And you can see here a lot of it is running through Hashpack themselves. No surprises there for many of us. Pair with your favorite software wallet, e.g. Hashpack or Blade wallet, whatever it may be, and this allows you to continue using Hedera dApps inside the hardware sort of ecosystem that they are fleshing out. Seamless integration with those Hedera dApps then, so the Hedera dApp ecosystem is vibrant and evolving very fast, and it's part of their key mission and why they're releasing this product on Hedera, because they know the adoption from mainstream hardware wallet providers like Ledger, for example, will be very slow and they'll probably miss the boat, and that is where CITADEL is coming in. Ecosystem of Hedera dApps, of course, them listing all the different DeFi projects that will be supported, the NFT projects supported, as well as the different gaming ones. And then CITADEL for developers and projects, so backend developers who are managing NFT or token treasury accounts and need a secure key protection device can use CITADEL's open sourced SDKs directly and make API calls to the wallet to sign any administrative transactions. And then the administrative functions being project key management, secure token management, lots of different things, which again helps protect those developers when building out these. Obviously spread the word as well. So obviously they're ramping up and releasing different announcements. Again, I'll keep you guys up to date on this. We've kind of got like no pricing or roadmap information yet, just them looking about what they're aiming to provide to customers in the future. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, drop a comment if you've got something to say. And I'll obviously make sure I cover some of these projects I talked about in the next video over the coming days. And until then, I'll catch you soon. Cheers.